everybody. Welcome back to SNEED headquarters here in Spring, Texas. It's been a while since we've done a live demonstration. We've had a lot of new equipment come through the doors and added new product lines to our SNEED-PACK brand over the last year, and we thought it was fitting. It's about time to do another live demonstration. I invited my friend Charles here to come along because he knows much more about the equipment than I do, and he'll be much more informational for you folks. Today we're going to be talking about our label applicators, label machines. A big part of our customer base, all you folks out there are doing some form of labeling or another, whether it's on boxes, bottles, lots of different types of packaging out there. So that'll be the highlight of our show today. Be sure to stay tuned until the end. At the end of the show, we will have a promo word for free freight on any of our labeling machines in the back, free shipping on our label applicators here. And of course, on these machines back here, we don't charge any crate as it is, so you save crate fees. And with our promo word at the end of the show, if you purchase by the end of this week, which today is the 20th, so March 22nd, end of business, with that promo word, you'll be able to get free freight on any of the machines we have in the back here. So trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover in my intro. Make sure you like and subscribe while you're watching, and we'll kind of get started here, Charles, with our label applicators. So to kind of set the stage, much like with our coating printers, the SNEED-Jet printers, we have everything from handheld printers all the way up to full-scale production lines, and that's essentially the strategy we took with our label machines as well. So we're going to start here with the handheld devices that we have and some tabletop applicators and such, because we know a lot of our customers out there, a lot of you folks out there tuning in, we have a varying sizes. So some of you are much smaller than others, some of you are larger, so there's different needs out there in terms of equipment and what your size is and what your operations look like. These tabletop applicators are real great in that if you're manually labeling or putting stickers on your bottles right now, I'm sure you've all gotten frustrated with getting them lined up just perfectly or getting that position just right on the bottle for you, those types of things. These applicators are great for getting you consistent label position every time. The first three we have here are hand crank. We also have, I guess I'll start here, just kind of, this is our sticker gun or label gun. Essentially, come up and just label people, persons, products, bottles, etc. Very small little label here. You could do a Best By date on there, lot code, etc., on these labels. So that really is the most basic functionality of a sticker applicator or label applicator we have. Feel free, Charles, at any point to jump in if there's anything I'm missing, by the way.
Of course. So just keep in mind that all these require pre-printed labels. So something like this, if you happen to be in any of the fresh food industries, cannabis industries, anything like that, you want to have your lot number, expiration dates, all that printed on here. Makes it easy, especially for a small startup operation. As Ken mentioned, we do try to provide everything for various sizes. So if you're starting off in your garage or a little office warehouse space, getting your medicinal company, barbecue sauce company, anything like that going, you're all going to start off with a hand application. Well, speed things up a little bit, make it a little more consistent, so that way you've got that shelf presence. That's where you've got your application. Very, very simple. Go as fast as you need it to. If you've got a little larger size bottle, of course.
You double labeled that one?
I double labeled that one. It happens to the best of us, but nice even application there. Going all the way through to these here. You don't necessarily have to use this unless you've got a larger bottle, but just that simple. You've got your label applied on there. And of course, if we really want to get nice and easy, this one, you just hit the button on it, or that was the button push, or if you want to make it even faster, hit your foot pedal there, and you've got the label on there.
Yeah, this one's pretty neat. So obviously these are hand cranks, so they're still going to be a little bit slow. Of course, depends on your output. This one's really cool. Like I said, that foot pedal I think is really slick, because then you can set up a workstation and have an operator sitting there, and they're just using that foot pedal.
Just moving them off, using the foot pedal
fairly quickly
to get it up and going.
Good point, of course, about pre-printed labels, Charles. I should have mentioned that. These are real basic and simple. As you can see, it's just a matter of threading those labels when you get them. We have videos on our help desk that'll show you just real quick how to get that label threaded, how to adjust it if you need to, depending on different sizes. Very, 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 very simple, basic stuff here. Just real quick, in terms of pricing, if this were something you'd be interested in, that's $139. Our L1 is $249. The L2 is $299. This one here is $499. And then with the foot pedal here is $699. All of these are in stock ready to go, and will ship within 24 hours of placing an order. You can place those orders by calling us at 833-926-3464. Press extension 1 for my sales team. They'll be happy to help you out. You can go on our website, www.sneed-coding.com, place the order through the website, or get on the chat. Again, my sales team will be happy to help you out. And we also have email, too. You can always email us at sales@sneed-coding.com if you have more questions or you want to do some follow-up on these machines. Again, in stock, any one of these models here can ship within 24 hours of you guys placing that order. And that's really all we have on these side. Now we're going to get into some of the bigger, funner production line equipment. So I got some helpers here. Matthew and Sam from Charles's department are going to come get the table out of the way here for us. And then we're going to move over here. We'll get started here. Matthew's going to join us in a second, and because he's been working a lot on these label machines.
So this is our tabletop round bottle labeler. So as you can see from growing in scale, you've started off with the smaller tabletop or manual label applicator. Well, as your business grows and you need to get a little more consistent, have a little more throughput, then you can grow into a tabletop, or of course next is our full production size. Tabletop label applicator. This will do anywhere from 30 to 50 bottles per minute. You can do a little more, a little less, depending on the size, but that's our average. It's got the built-in conveyor belt here, so that all comes as part of the unit. This is your bottle separator, so this is going to help to give you some timing in between your bottles. And then, of course, it catches the bottle here and applies the label. As Ken mentioned, Matt will go over some of our different settings here. And different ways that this can be adjusted. So
yeah, I got some good questions here for you, Matthew. So we're gonna share a mic here. Now earlier, let's talk just first in terms of initial setup. All right, when somebody gets this out of the crate, they get it delivered. One of the main things, of course, is getting the labels set up. We talked a little bit about this earlier. You were educating me on that. What does it take in terms of out of the box, out of the crate? What are just kind of some basic things that people are looking at in terms of getting it set up, dialed in?
One of the nice things, out of the box, this is mostly already pre-assembled. The only thing you really have to worry about or do is the label tray. That does not come attached to the labeler, and that's only 3 bolts on the bottom side, and it's good to go. After that, if this is going to be your first time using the machine, I would definitely set aside maybe 30 to 45 minutes to get your labels on there and your bottles positioned correctly. After that, there would be some fine tuning before it gets perfect. Your labels are, have no bubbles, no trapped air, anything like that. So I think reasonably, within the hour, you should be good to go with your production.
Okay.
Once you are fully trained and you are comfortable with the machine, putting on new labels shouldn't take you much longer than 10 to 15 minutes after that.
Okay.
When it comes to the settings, the only digital settings on the machine correlate to label application, label speed, and then how long the bottle sets in position. Most of the bottle configuration is going to be adjusting the actual equipment manually. So how far the
bottle separator is.
Bottle separator and the bottle clamp.
Right.
And then the height adjustment. Right?
Yes, in the height adjustment.
With
yes.
the positioning dial, I learned that term earlier from Matthew. What's really neat about this, now I get to say something, it's got a nice little number system here so that if you are switching height, you can mark down the different heights for your different products so it's easier to remember. And along those notes, the digital settings, I believe they can store as well, right?
Yes, so all of our bottle labelers that we're going to see here today all have the ability to set presets for your digital settings. So if you have to change between labels, you could do so quickly by selecting which formula you want to run.
Okay.
And then from there, it's just adjusting for the different size bottle.
And all of that, outside of the physical adjustments, all of that's done on the built-in user interface that's right here. Everything is stored, so it's very easy access to get to. The actual display is fairly intuitive as far as how to get through all your different menus and your different settings. And of course, just your simple start and stop. So I think we've got all this set up, ready to go.
Yeah, let's run. I have a couple more questions, but we can run it. Let's run some bottles through, and we can have some questions here. So we'll run a few bottles here. Charles is gonna fire it up, and we'll do our best to catch them on this end. Looks like we got our labels set up upside down, folks, but that's obviously something that is adjustable. So great. So installation, and it does sound like this is something they'll be able to do on their own. Let's say they get stuck on something. What are their options for support in terms of like the help desk, or maybe you, Matthew, or somebody else from Charles's team?
Well, of course, we've got videos on the help desk to help with your setup and your basic configuration. Make sure that you can get everything going on your own. If that, of course, you run into any hiccups or problems, Matt's one of our technicians that's available on the phone. We've got Sam and Anthony as well as Richard. But you can contact us at 833-926-3464 extension 2. That's your support, or support at SNEED-COATING.com, or of course on our website at the top, on the top banner, you'll find our help desk link, and that'll take you directly to our help desk.
And that'll be help.sneedcoating.com. Real simple.
And if you happen to be on our help desk, we have a cool little chat feature on there, which will get you in touch with any one of the guys. If you don't want to talk to them on the phone, you can type it out and keep on trucking.
And those are real humans on the chat. That's actually Matthew and Anthony and the guys that are answering those chats.
Yep.
we haven't gotten that far with our artificial intelligence yet. So last point of note on the sales side here, as you folks can see, this tabletop labeling machine, we have it on our little roller table here, is available for $83.99. Again, we will have free freight available on this machine with our promo word at the end of the show. Our tabletop round bottle labeler, we have 6 of these in stock currently. Again, by March 22nd, Friday, end of business, if you order, we'll give you free freight with the promo word. And we do have these in stock. I believe, Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, allow us 48 hours for crating and getting it prepped to ship.
Correct,
But it is in stock and will ship within about 48 hours.
I do have one add-on that I apologize I failed to mention up front. All of these machines that do require power all run off of 110, so they can be put in just about any place. If you're working out of your garage or working in a warehouse or anything like that, these your round bottle labelers, since they do have this mechanism right here, this is powered by air. They do require air to come in, so you need power and air for these two. Just want to make sure that if you are considering one of these, you've got access to those. Because that's going to be paramount to making sure that they function properly.
All right. So before we move on, real quick question on the air, Charles.
Yep.
Do they have to plant air, or what if they, smaller facility like us? What are their options in terms of air supply?
A portable air compressor, as long as you've got about 1 cubic foot per minute, or you can provide a regular on these machines 60 plus psi. We prefer to have around a maximum of 80 to 90, but 60 plus psi is all you need to have to be able to run these.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything we missed on this one, Matt, you think we should point out? Or
So one thing I think you guys should be aware of, that there is a stop delay timer that will set off an alarm if there is no production happening. So let's say you get a label clog, or if you run out of bottles, or something just stops production for whatever reason, there is a configurable setting on these machines that will alert you when nothing's happening.
That's good, yeah. So if you have a production stop or anything, there is an alarm function there that you can program to let you know and let you alert there's an issue. Whether it's as simple as just, you ran out of label stock, or like you said, if something got clogged or something else, it'll
or you run out of bottles, which, that kind of things happens if you're, 1 or 2 person show. It lets you know that, of course, the machine's down, so you're not labeling, and, well, that means you're not producing. So.
All right. Well, that's it for this one. We'll move right along here, folks. And I'm stepping on wires. I was the one that warned everybody earlier, don't step on the wires, and here I am.
These out of the way.
So this here is basically just the previous machine, but a full production size. As you can see, it's set up on a cart here, if you will. It's got casters, so you can roll it around and move it in and out of different production areas. It's got feed in from your production line over there. It's got an out feed here if you want to put an accumulation table. We have those as well, by the way. Right here. So. Yeah, I'll let you take it from here, Charles. You're going to have much more productive things.
As Ken mentioned, it is mobile, but it does come with locking casters as well as feet, so you can get it into position and make sure that it doesn't move around on you. The cabinet has got doors on both sides, so you've got access to there where you can store any extra spare parts or extra labels or anything like that directly right here, so you don't have to have them in a different area. Especially if you're storing your labels there, makes your changeover that much faster. Again, 110 power supply. This one also does require air because it's got the bottle clamp here. So just keep that in mind as far, when you're considering where this goes in your overall production line. One of the things that we didn't mention on that one, but with all of these, they do take up to a 1,000-yard spool of labels with a 3-inch core. So we want to make sure that if you're currently using any labels that have a 1-inch or 2-inch core, you would need to get a 3-inch core for that. Also, as Ken pointed out on this one, the labels were upside down. This is one of our samples from one of our customers, just letting us know that, of course, there is a specific unwind direction. So we want to make sure that as we're speccing these in for you, if you've got 10,000 labels on hand, make sure to let us know what your unwind direction is. We can let you know if that's a fit or if you'll need to change out your labels when you're ready for moving up to these.
Awesome. And then, Matthew, back to the question I asked you about the other machine. I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, setup is going to be very similar out of the crate and getting things going?
Yes. So out of the crate, it's mostly pre-assembled. One of the things that you're going to have to put together is the stand and the screen for the machine.
Don't worry, no, you don't have to assemble the screen. It's just a bolt-on. You're just going to put it on there.
Right.
It's not like a do-it-yourself kit.
Right, yeah. So it's literally just put it into place, bolt it, and it's good to go. Turn it on, attach your air, and then configure your settings. There was one other thing I wanted to touch on that I forgot.
All right, well, while you're mentioning
What it comes
that,
back to.
this one's got alert light inactivity, just like you said on all of our machines. I'll do my sales plug right here while you're jogging your memory. This machine's $12,599. And again, free freight available if you stay tuned to the end of the show. And in terms of stock, we have 4 of these in stock. So if you place that order, we do have 4 of these ready to go. And as I asked Charles earlier, give us about 48 hours for processing and crating, and we'll get it ready to ship out to you, and so you can set it up on your line. I guess let's go ahead and run some. So these are going to be a different size bottle. Another thing, they are adjustable. There's a certain diameter range for each machine, but these rails are adjustable if you got different size bottles. Just to
And
keep that in
the
mind.
production line size one has a wider belt on it, so this does have an overall wider diameter of bottle and a taller diameter or taller height of bottle that it can handle.
And then we got the spacer there holding the bottles back. The clamp closes. We wrap around. Rock and roll. Here, I'll let you grab that. There we go. All right. So that is essentially it on these machines. Did it come back to you what you were thinking of? Perfect.
So we've been showing you pretty much just straight round bottles. You are able to get different styles of rollers for tapered
Correct.
products. And yeah, that's
I do remember that we had a customer recently send in some samples. They're plastic HDPE jars, and they were tapered. So it's just a matter of changing these rollers out for a tapered container.
And some of our other bottles have small little bevels at the top and bottom. So again, for those specialized type of bottles, we would just need to change out these rollers for you. Make sure to contact one of our salespeople. Go over your product details, what the material is, if there's any special features of it. That way, we can make sure to get you the correct parts to put on the machine and work efficiently and functionally for you.
And then on that note right there regarding spec-in, so part of our policy, part of our process is if you are interested in one, you do want to purchase one, we do require testing ahead of time. That's just our way of ensuring that the machine works well with your bottles and your jars, whatever it may be, that it works well with your labels, that the labels fit properly. So with that regard, if somebody wants to do a sample, we again have that on the website. We have our sample request. You can do that in the resources tab. Again, you can contact any one of our reps at 833-926-3464, extension 1. They'll happily provide the link for you. If they do fill out a sample request, Matthew, I know this came up recently. You educated my sales team on it. What do they need to send, and how much do they need to send?
So we recommend that when you send in your labels for testing, that you send a spool with at least 100 labels on there. That gives us enough of a sample size for us to be able to troubleshoot through any errors that we encounter, to get it dialed in and make sure that it's perfectly applied to the bottles, and we could give you that information on what we did to get it to work.
And if Daniel wouldn't mind coming in here, the other reason for that is on a machine like this, there are a number of labels. If you want to tilt up here a little bit, Daniel, so you can look over here. You've got to wind it through here. So if we only get 10 labels, we won't even make it all the way here to the label applicator. So that's why Matt's indicating, 100 labels or more on a spool. That gives us the ability to actually wind it through, test your product, test your labels, and make sure that it's going to work efficiently for you. Because one of the things that Sneed Coating does differently than everybody else is our 30-day performance guarantee. That's one of the reasons why we like to make sure that we get those samples in, because if we sign off on it, we know that it's going to work in your application. The only thing that may cause that need to use that 30-day performance guarantee is if you just don't like the color.
Yeah, or maybe it just doesn't fit in your production line or something like that. But yeah, you do have 30-day performance guarantee even on these big machines. That's from the big guy himself, Brian. He wants to know that Brian Sneed wants to know that you guys feel comfortable and are comfortable in making the investment and have that assuredness. So we started doing that with printers, and we've done it going with SNEED-PACK as well.
I mean, we tried to tell him not to, but the big guy says he's going to take care of the customer.
This is basically what you see here is a separate. This is our wide belt conveyor. So that's this machine is a mobile labeling machine. You may see underneath here it's sitting on wheels. It can be rolled around your production floor and rolled around your factory. You can move it to different lines, et cetera, et cetera. We're using our wide belt conveyor here for demonstration purposes. Of course, the wide belt conveyor is also available if you need something like this. It's $14.95. Those are in stock and available to ship. Back to the labelers, though. This, I'll let you, Charles. I mean, functionality-wise, it's very similar to the others, right? The main thing is that it's on wheels.
As Matt pointed out previously, same sort of mechanism as on the previous two. This one's just mounted on the post. You've got a height adjustment here, so you've got a wide variety of heights and boxes to be able to go through. And of course, overall positioning. It's on wheels, so that makes it that much easier. As I pointed out on the other machines, the casters on this one are lockable. It's got feet on there, so once you get into position, you can make sure it doesn't move around. The PLC here does contain all your parameters as far as your different recipes. You've got eight different formulas that you can put in there for different sizes, and that's just going to come down to the overall delay and the and positioning of label on the box. Outside of that, everything else is a physical adjustment. So you've just got to make sure that your sensor, of course, reads the edge of the box, and the rest of your timing is set accordingly. Labels, same sort of label tray on here, 1,000 yards, varying label sizes, label heights. Again, you can do up to like a 4x6 label here. Throughput on these machines, you're looking at anywhere from 10 boxes to 50 boxes per minute. So just
It appears the belt is stuck.
oh, we got I'm sure that there's a label that got somewhere in there. So again, my testing, that's my fault. So let's go ahead, and this one should be ready to go. Go ahead and pass that one by there. It helps.
It helps if this one.
Yep, it helps. There we go. See, one little gremlin pops into the thing and everybody gets all out of whack. So let's try that one more time. Oh, look at there.
A nice centered label there. And of course, you can do different label sizes if you need to. So these are also in stock, $6,999. We have 3 of these side labeling versions in stock, and we have 2 that are top down. So essentially, with the top-down labelers, we have a full-size production with conveyor built in. We have a top-down mobile labeler, and then we also have a tabletop top-down mobile top-down label applicator. So this is our alarm. We actually set that on purpose. That's the inactivity alarm that Matthew mentioned earlier that will let you know that it has not been printing in a certain amount of time.
And there we go. There we go. And reset.
So,
yep.
All right, that's I think we've touched on all the basics of all the labeling machines for you folks. Again, I do have one last question. I know everything here is for pre-printed labels. Charles mentioned that earlier. I just want to emphasize that. That's great for your product information, nutritional facts, et cetera, but sometimes folks also need to add that best by date. And if they want to do that on the label, could they theoretically install one of our amazing SNEED-TIP printers on any
better
of
than
these
theoretically, they definitely can. So we have a number of these machines out in the field that have our Titan series printers mounted to them. We do have the label gap sensor that mounts right up there to it. So if you need to put your product date on there, by all means, we can mount a printer to print directly on the labels. Of course, any of these machines that have the conveyors built in, You can have a date coder mounted onto the side here, so you can put the date code on the side of your bottle or your cap or anything like that.
Right. And we do also, as you can see across the back, just a full plug, full line of packaging equipment, secondary packaging, case erectors, case sealers as well. Of course, today is the topic and focus is labeling machines, but this SNEED-PACK line has grown tremendously over the last year and a half, folks. So for those of you that were patient enough to stick through us with us all the way to the end, I did promise a promo word. It's 2 words, actually. That promo words are Crazy Daisy. I think Quentin is doing a thing right now. You should be able to see it below me. Crazy Daisy is the promo word. Call us at 833-926-3464, extension 1. You tell the sales rep, whether it'll be Tom, Santos, Daniel, or John, any one of your sales reps, tell them the promo word, tell them you watched the label demo, and you want to get that free freight. Memory serves, that should be about easily $500 or $600 worth of savings for you. Freight these days is pretty expensive at times. Again, we have multiple units in stock of each model, depending on which one you're interested in. So give us a call. That free freight promo does expire at the end of the week. So you got 2 days to go to your CFO or whoever's in charge of the finances to get approval for the label machine. We do have them in stock, and we can get them shipped out within 48 hours. That's basically it. So do like, subscribe, do the thing at the bottom that Alexa always tells you guys to do. Actually, speaking of Alexa, I do have her on hold. Did we have any questions? Because we were monitoring in case any questions came up. All right. All right, so the question, in case anybody didn't hear that off camera, was on a production run, can you do very shaped containers, different size bottles in the same production run, or does it need to be the same size bottles every time? I'll take this one because I think I know. It does need to be the same size all the way through, guys. As we talked about, the different adjustments, as you can see, there's height adjustments, horizontal adjustments, and things that do have to be made for different sizes to make sure you get that accurate label placement. So yes, it is intended basically to be all for one production run. It does not have the ability to do random or variable label application.
Good question. Yes. Yeah, so we do offer a variety of sensors depending on the type of material that you're using and what would be necessary to make sure that you get the proper output. That really comes down to your production process. There are some of our customers that like to label ahead of time, but the majority, in my experience, do label after filling. That way, that's one of the last things that they do before it actually goes into the final packaging. Great questions. So, of course, being on the technical side of things, we would definitely want to make sure that people are considering that maintenance up front. So, excellent question. Overall, there's not a ton of maintenance that really goes into the machines. So, some of the rollers, there's a foam roller on there. If you have a very soft material, that's going to last years. If you have a very tough or abrasive material, that's going to probably require replacement every year to 2 years. Outside of that, you've got a brush that helps to tamp down the labels. Over time, those bristles will start to wear out. That's going to require a little replacement. And then the other things just is going to be a minor amount of cleaning as things go on, because you are dealing with adhesives on these labels. As you put things through there, as things happen, as those gremlins pop up, as we've talked about, that will require some cleaning and maintenance on the machine. Outside of that, they're fairly problem-free. There's a single motor that powers everything. The sensors are very easy to get to. They're put in positions to where they don't get damaged. So it makes the operation and use of the machine very, very easy and very simple. As far as replacement parts, yes, we do have most everything in stock. If we don't have it in stock, we can get it to you within a week or two. Most definitely. So that comes right back to one of those original questions, which is the sensors.
Sensor, yep.
We just have to make sure we've got the appropriate sensor on there and get the settings correct for you. We have dealt with some clear backing and clear labels. Those can be a little troublesome, but that's for any labeler. out there, and that just comes down to being able to sense the end of that label.
If Alexa, I actually just thought of one real quick. Unless you may have another one, but what if, say, there's somebody out there like myself who's not comfortable taking it out of the crate and doing all the dialing and everything else? Are we available to send somebody out to do the installation for them?
We most definitely are.
Okay.
Matt, Sam, myself were the technicians that would one of us would come out to come see you. We come out for a full day to make sure that we help you get it out of the crate, go through a full training process, make sure you're comfortable with it, get your production up and going. And of course, if you need do some test runs, and of course, if you need us there for a few more days, we are available.
Excellent. Was there anything else from the chat or the audience? All right. All right, I'll do my outro one more time. Crazy Daisy is your promo word for that free freight. All the tabletop little hand crank label applicators are in stock, ready to go. You can get free shipping on those. We have multiple units of our label machines back here in stock, as I mentioned throughout the show. So remember, Crazy Daisy, call 833-926-3464, extension 1. Email sales@sneedcoding.com. Website, sneedcoding.com. Hit that chat. We're there to help you. And, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow us, and we'll do more of these. And we also got lots of great informational content on the SNEED-CAST. We're available on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. We just did an episode on the history of date coding. We're going to do an episode on the history of barcodes with the one and only Charles. So, again, follow us on all those channels on YouTube. We're here to try to help you guys learn more about date coding and packaging.